good start in this semester and that everybody finishes up the semester with a good grade and feeling confident and beginning to understand and be able to speak some Spanish. So I want to point out a few things to you. First of all, this coming Monday, February 13th, el 13 de febrero, is the beginning of week 3. But you'll notice that week 1 did not have a lot of things to do because people were just getting going. So if you click on where it says what to do, you just really needed to read through the welcome module, look through the everyday resources, turn in your selfie, and reply to the think and hope. So if you did that already, then you are already done. Okay? So let's see if I can get it to go back. Let's go back to modules. Okay? So then actually, if you see anything grayed out on mine, that's because you're not seeing it. It's not published for you. But do you see these green, n- no, see these things that say view here? If you don't view them, you won't be able to go on to the everyday resources. You have to at least open them up and look at them. So that's important. Then you come down into everyday resources and it says prerequisite is welcome, so you should have looked at those things in welcome. I have added, and I'm going to go ahead and publish the first few 6 weeks of Spanish 1.1, and I will update that soon. And you can also find in everyday resources Spanish accent marks, which is important that everything you turn in writing in here, I expect you to use the accent marks. So these have codes that you can use on a keyboard, but I don't always get to use the codes. Sometimes I'm using my laptop and it doesn't allow me to use the codes. So what I do is I go to a page where I have a copy of this. Like I can put a copy of this on my desktop and I can just copy and paste any one of these letters into my writing. So you don't always have to use the code. You can just copy and paste. But you do always need to use the accents if you want to get full credit because that's a part of the Spanish language. Okay, so then week 2 is when we really got started. Okay, so notice that here I'm starting to put in the learning target and success criteria for each week. So this is last week's week 2 learning target and success criteria. And it tells you what I expect you to be learning and what I expect you to do. So basically, in the first week, what I want you to do is I want you to do lesson 1 of Rosetta Stone, which means this is the core lesson, this big circle, but I also want you to do all these little circles here. And on your report, they should be marked complete. If they're not marked complete, then you need to go back in and fix some things that you missed, okay? These are some of the core concepts that you'll be working on, animals and common foods and everyday items, and hopefully you've already done that. So now let's look at week 3, which is what we're coming up on. So week 2 had that, and you were supposed to do the getting started assignment. And then after you do the getting started assignment, there's a workbook assignment that's 6 pages of workbook stuff. Now you can print this out and do it, or you can open it up and just look at it online and write it in a notebook. You're not going to send this in to me. You're going to correct it yourself. And here's the answer key for you to use to correct it. Notice these two are marked view. If you do not open these at least and look at them, then you're not going to be able to go on to the next unit. You have to submit this and you need to view. This you'll need to score at least 6 to complete the unit. This you'll need to score at least 10. This is the workbook reflection, and there are a few questions based on what you did on the workbook pages. And then this is a quiz based on this work in Lesson 1, Unit 1, and what you learned in the workbook. Okay? Then we go on to week 3, which is this coming Monday is beginning of week 3. And basically, it's going to tell you that you're going to do lesson 2 in Rosetta Stone. Don't come in and do all these things here until you've done lesson 2. This is where all the learning goes on. This is where the lessons are. This is where you need to be taking notes and practicing, okay? But don't just come in and do the workbook assignment. Do your Rosetta Stone first. This will say you have to view it, view it, view it. This says you have to, there's your workbook reflection and your quiz that you have to score on. I'm just going to open up this learning targets here for week 3 real quick. And it will tell you that you need to, what you need to get done. You're going to be matching Spanish greetings with their English counterparts. You're going to be presented with nouns with their English translations. You need to be able to articulate what you need to review. These are some things that you're going to need to do. These may be updated as we go through, but that's your success criteria and the learning targets for now, okay? So I can't emphasize enough that you must do the lessons in Rosetta Stone first, then do the workbooks, then check them, then do your reflection, then your quiz. Okay? And some weeks we'll have some cultural things or stories or games, but most of the weeks it's going to be a little bit of lesson on Rosetta Stone, a little bit of workbook pages, some reflection, and a quiz. So if you have any questions, I'm always available by email, and you can also call me. And that's my contact information is in Everyday Resources, teacher contact information. So have a great week. Enjoy your Valentine's Day with people that you love, and we'll talk again later.